So in the logic model, it has several key components, and basically we can say four main components. The first one is the needs component, the community needs and opportunities. And the second is the inputs. The third is activities. And then the fourth component is the results. There are different type of results. And we will provide detailed discussion on each one of these components. And maybe we first look at a particular example for a parenting program. Then we go in and talk about each one of them, each one of the components in more detail. We say that in this logic model, high school students, the high dropout rate and severe parent-child conflicts and the parents want additional support and resources for children and for themselves. This is the need. And the input is what kind of resources that we have, what kind of people and as well as material and opportunity that we have. And there are program staff, school district itself, and the teachers support, and then the parents. And then there is a curriculum called parenting skill curriculum. And those are the resources that are available for us. And so the activities that we want to do is the program staff will implement a coordinated dropout prevention program for students, including an 8-week positive parenting class. And this is the activity. And then it will intend to achieve results. There are three types of results: output, intermediate outcome, and end outcome. And for output, pretty much it's just say, what have happened? Did you do, what have happened? So what happened is the parents demonstrate, parents skill being taught, how many hours of this parenting class is being provided, and how many parents participate in the activities. And in that particular output result, we have this particular instrument or the data sources where we get the information or the class roster, and those are the output result. And then we go into the intermediate outcome, and we break it up. We see two, for example, with two particular intermediate outcome. First is the parents demonstrate the positive parenting skill. And how do we know that? We know that by having the parenting skill assessment. This is particularly the instrument that we use to assess the parenting skill. And hopefully we will be able to see the decrease in students' behavioral problem in school. And also, how do we know that? And we look at the school records. That's one way to find out. And so by people participate in having the output, people participate in the parenting program and other activities, then we will bring about parents become more competent in doing parenting, be a competent parent. And also, hopefully, we will see that the student will see the decrease of student behavioral problems in school. But at the end, there is what happened is the end result. The end result, or so-called end outcome, is the decrease the school dropout rate, and also particularly in that among the students, among the parents who have participated in the parenting class. How do we know that? School record and parent survey. Now this is, we will talk more about each one of the components in detail, but this is basically the logic model itself. As you can tell, with this particular logic model, you'll be able to see where the needs come from and where we come from, where's the needs, and where we're going, which is the result. First of all, maybe we look at the logic model itself seems to flow from need assessment, need to input to activity, and then bring about result. In reality, however, there's a different steps. The first step is identify need. The first step definitely identify needs. If there's no need, there's no program. All we do because we see there is a need in the community or among our target population, we want to do something about it. So needs is number one. And number two is not input. Number two actually is results. Now there is a need, what do we want to see happen? And that is the results. So step two is result. And then after we identify the result, we go back and say, what kind of resources that we have? So we look at input. And if we don't have the funding, then we go seek out support, seek out resources that we can have the resources and the material and the funding to do activities, or we call it intervention, and see what we can do to bring about change. So step one is need, step two is results, step three is input, and then step four is activities. Let's talk about the needs. Needs relate to the question of why. Remember that program planning formula, and this is related to the question why. There are four types of needs, and when you say need, it's very generic term of needs. So there are four types of needs. The first one is called normative need. Normative need is based on a standard that we are either above or below the standard. If I am a sixth grader, my reading is like on the third grade. So am I up to meet the norm? No, I'm below the norm. Right? If everybody earn $1,000 a month and I only making $600 a month, am I below the average income? Yes. And maybe that is how we calculate some of the poverty rates and so on. So that is the normative. Are we against or the established standard? Felt need is the same words as want. I want this, I want it. It's the want. When you bring a kid to the school, to the store, the kids, when you was about to pay your groceries, the kid would say, I want some candy. Well, why do you want some candy? Well, just because I want candy. It's a felt need. That the felt needs also could be experienced in a way that a senior living alone out in the community, out in his or own home, want to have more contact with other people. The social connectedness is because we are human beings. We like to in contact with other people. It's a felt need. It's what we want. Sometimes it's just self-evident. We don't necessarily have a lot of way to explain why, but just because. Now, that should not be the only reason. That is one of the many reasons. The third type is express need. Express need is so much as a felt need that put into words, put into a document. So you will have a community assessment procedure. So people come and you may have a town hall meeting. People come and talk to you about what they like to see happen in the community. What are missing in the community, and those are your town hall meeting or your community assessment survey may also reveal certain information. You may also look at some government documents such as census data. Census will tell you the income distribution or many other useful information that reflect a particular characteristic and therefore some of the needs of the community. And so felt need is oftentimes what people prefer. And then when you put into writing, it becomes express need. For example, you may have some funding for a group of parents, for a child care center for a group of parents who live in community A. But most of the parents work in community B because that's where the industries are. So you will have this particular set of funding to provide daycare. Many of the parents cannot go to work if they don't have daycare. So you ask the parents, where do you want to have this child care center built, and they say, I would like to have it over where I work. But if my child gets sick, I can immediately go check on her. And or maybe during lunch break, I can come and spend some time with my child. Instead of going back to the community A, which I need to take the bus, take the train to get there. So people, they want to have the child care center in community B, where the industries are, where they work. Now this is the felt need. They feel like they want to have it. However, if you sit them down or doing and have a conversation, have a town hall meeting or doing a survey, and they will come to you with you organize their thought and put it together in the document. Then you present the document to the planning council. Then you have and express the need. People feel like they want to get services for immunization. How do you know they need that? Well, you look at their express need in terms of the waiting list of how many parents want to sign up their kids to come to get immunization. That waiting list itself is an express need. So the normative need, felt need, and express need are not necessarily exclusive. They kind of like a continuum. And then there is the fourth type of needs, which is a comparative need, relatively speaking. Now, relatively speaking, children who grow up in a community that have a lot of violence and drug and those situations, those children when they grow up, there's an increased chance of those children will be involved in the criminal justice system, and that is a comparative need. Children who do not have close contact with a responsible adult tend to have more emotional behavioral problem when they grow up. And those are comparative needs. Relatively speaking, certain people are more exposed to certain risk and protective factors. And those are the comparative needs. So when we want to identify, put together a statement about needs, about what we need, and that's what we call a need statement. It should include, or the more of these various type of need that you could include in there, it is better. So an example of this statement is the Evergreen Community Service has experienced 60% annual increase in respite service requests in the last 3 years. Now, this is, well, what do you think? What kind of list needs that? That is a documented need. People or express need. People tell you that they need that service, and they have the more of the request. A recent community survey found majority of the caregivers are overstressed and socially isolated. Now you have a community survey again, and this is a documented need, a documentation of a felt need. And then over 70% of them had income below the poverty level. That is a normative need. Research finding has indicated these caregivers are at higher risk for depression and unintentional elderly neglect. What do you think? That is comparative need. So as you see, this statement put together all of those needs, and hopefully this will become a more convincing need statement.